We here for the latest, south side or the north side, not tuned to the greatest. Home team for the home teams, both sides got our own rings, on the mound or the long ball, but we don't put the wrong strings, yeah. It's that time of the year now, Wrigley or Ganty, so the whole league that we here now. New show with a new mood, discussions and interviews, trade rumors that might be. This is Pinwheels and Knife.
All right. The retweets are up. And for the first 4 comments that I know are coming right now, I know we're late. All right. Let's get into it. 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday, December 1st. Can't believe it's already December. That's wild. And you have found, you didn't reach. No, you can reach for us too. But you have found the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast. I am your host, Matt Sawaski, a.k.a. Southside Zoe, a.k.a. Father Zoe. And with me, as always, Mr. Aldo Soto.
Zoe, it has been a while, but I would love nothing more than some breaking news live on the show.
You know, I thought you had some, but I get what you're saying.
I was scrolling through Twitter. I was hoping something happened.
Yes, this is the time of year where it's one eye on the show, one eye on the Twitter feed, because we love breaking news on the show for people to listen to it the next day when it's not breaking anymore. But yes, and as always with us, the good Reverend K. Fids.
You know, there's a reason why we don't bring pirates on this show too, is because we have to at this time of year keep one eye on one and one eye on the other. So I'm glad that we all are.
That would be tricky. Maybe that's why they carried parrots all the time. And last but not least, the rookie NASCAR Mitch.
Been a terrible week. Now it's December, so Mariah Carey's polluting the airwaves. This is like.
You guys don't fuck around with Mariah.
Do you know she makes like $7 million a year off that song?
I mean,
that's the dream, wild, baby.
Dude. It really.
Imagine how much Vanilla Ice would make off Ice Ice Baby if he wasn't hung over a balcony by Suge Knight and sold the rights to it.
It's a goddamn shame. So pretty excited about this week because it's not your typical off-season pod. We actually have actual things to talk about. Some very somber, some very exciting, some very meh. And I'll let you guys decide which one's which. But with all that being said, let's dive in here. Let's tap this keg. As always, this show is brought to you by Sports Mockery, sportsmockery.com. Make sure you download the app, turn on the push notifications to get all your latest Chicago sports news pushed right to your face. Sports Mockery, sportsmockery.com. Turn on the push notifications. And also, folks, the kitchen's open. Head on over to Uncle Bud's in Oak Lawn, 9700 South Cicero Avenue. Go to Uncle Bud's. They got Taco Tuesdays. They got the Bud Burgers, which are unbelievable, but they don't have any bud in them. But they are very good. Great drink specials, live music. The place is really starting to come together. You got Mitch there with some weird old dude. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on.
The Jose Brady.
Uncle Bud's at 9700 South Cicero. Go check them out. Tell them Zoe sent you. What do you guys want to start with? The meh or the sad stuff?
And we gotta.
I mean, I don't know. Do you want to start out? Yeah, you want to start out on a downer, or do you and then uplift from the foundation back?
I mean, it's the biggest.
You want to just chop it out?
We should. I mean, it's the
peel the Band-Aid off, get it over.
Yeah, I think we do. But before we get into that,
before we get into that, Mitch's shoulder right now too. I mean, it's like screaming at us.
Right?
Usually, I wait till the end of the show to say this kind of stuff, and I fear that not a lot of people are listening. But as you guys all know, the Spotify Wrapped things came out, and you've probably seen all your friends, whether you like it or not, putting their musical taste up. We all saw Mitch's Mariah Carey, number 1 through 4 on his top 5. We all saw it. It's fine. But I just want to say thank you. On behalf of all these guys here, thank you to the listeners. We, as a show, got some incredible numbers. Actually, way better than I actually thought it was going to be. You like us. You really like us. And no, just thank you for everything. I can promise you, onward and upward, we're going to keep getting better, keep trying to improve. We're always open to suggestions. You know, the DMs are open, or you can always message either one of us individually. One thing though, we did get the stats. We are in some people's top podcasts, which is amazing, as well as
Psychopaths.
top
Well, but-
fives and top tens. If you tweet at Pinwheels Ivy Pod a screenshot with us anywhere in your top 10 of podcasts, we'll give you a huge shout out on the show. And I'm sure I got some Pinwheels and Ivy stuff I can send you.
Sunglasses.
I definitely have
Because you're
sunglasses.
cool.
I
'Cause you're a
definitely have
cool listener.
sunglasses. But tweet that out.
I need
Tag
more.
us in the tweet. We're going to retweet it. We're going to do all that fun stuff. We'll give you a huge shout out on the show. If you don't want to do it, cool too. But just know that we love you. And Mitch is going to give you a big kiss next time we see you. All right. Had to get that out of the way. So here we go. Yeah. Was that the picture you were looking for?
Yeah.
That was the picture. Yeah. Go ahead. Put it up again. Whoever made that sign is gone now. So the news
They're
is no, they're definitely not. Jose Abreu, White
don't
Sox
fear.
legend, build him a statue and put it on top of the bean, is now a member of the Houston Astros. The news came fast. I'm glad it got over with, and I guess at the beginning, if you will, of the offseason, just to kind of, as you guys all said, rip the Band-Aid off a little bit on where he's going to go. And there's a couple things, though, that were interesting about this whole thing. First and foremost, fucking Jose Abreu forever, man. I mean, I'm going to go on my little rant after we talk about the semantics here, but talk about keeping it first class all the way, all the time. He had a prime opportunity during his Welcome to Houston press conference to not even bash, just throw a little shade towards the White Sox organization. And all he said was, they made me an informal offer. I'm here now. Like he didn't say like, oh, it was shitty but he didn't do any of that. He said nothing bad about the White Sox, nothing bad about White Sox front office. So they made me a formal offer. Let's move on. I want to talk about Houston. Very Jose Abreu. The other thing that was very interesting, though, folks, Jose Abreu got fucking paid. It was
Paid.
It was good day to be Jose Abreu. He went from a team struggling to find their identity or find the winning formula to the defending World Series champs who are still absolutely fucking loaded. And not only did he do that, but he got paid in the process. 3 years, I think the exact number was like 58.9 million.
Mhm.
He got a bigger deal than he did for the White Sox the last time he was a free agent.
He's 36 years old, signing a 3-year deal for $60 million. Now,
He's gonna hit so many taters in that juice box.
and he doesn't even have to, though. That's the thing.
I know.
Where he fits into, he's going to bat 6 in that fucking lineup.
And there's
So
no
sick.
April weather, which he's
No-
historically terrible in. So, and
No
more
Ap-
line protection than he's ever had, like actual line of protection. That
he's literally like in a padded room. He has so much protection now. And the thing is, what is Jose Abreu throughout his entire career? What has Jose Abreu been the best at?
Killing the Tigers.
RBIs.
No.
Oh, that too. Killing the
Drive-
Cubs too, Aldo, by the way.
Driving in runs. And look at the 5 guys batting in front of him. Jose Abreu, I cannot wait I will find someone that'll take a bet for Jose Abreu over 100 RBIs and put every dollar I own on it.
And that's the other thing, because he's going to play every game.
Yeah, oh God.
Will he have enough in front of him to actually drive in? Are these guys going to be driving in half the runs anyway? Like, that's a crazy part. Is this lineup is so good now at that 1 through 6 is they might have a bunch of dudes with like 90, 95 RBI instead of like, unless they just really roll off. And it's just some of these guys are home run hitters too. Like, so there's going to be a lot of clear bases ahead of them too.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, not to bring it down. Well, I guess I will bring it down.
No, go ahead. This is
But-
this is like a therapy session now.
Well, I was going to say the Houston lineup. Obviously, they have a longer track record of success, but like they have what the White Sox were supposed to be. Like the White Sox 1 through 6 was supposed to have Jose Abreu
right, that's
in
true.
there.
That's true. But And it was funny in the press conference. Someone asked him like, "What do you have to say about your home run numbers being down?" Because that's what everyone wants to fucking cry about right now. And he just goes, "Because he's cool as fuck, and he's Jose Abreu." He's just like, "I think I spoiled you guys a little too much with my early home run numbers."
Yeah.
Guy's just cool, man. And what did Jose Abreu do after his opening press conference with Houston? Goes down to the field and meets a third grade class and shakes every one of their hands in the dugout. It's just Jose Abreu, man. Jose fucking Abreu forever. And it's noted on this show that I'm not a fan of the Houston Astros organization. It's a little painful to see Pito rocking that jersey. And it was really bothering me when he put the hat on. It had no pine tar on it or sweat stains. It was like, it just looked super weird seeing that. But good for him, man. At the end of the day, as a human being, as like a fan of that guy who I watched defect to this country, play and give his all for a team that just wasn't helping him out for 9 years.
Yep.
Good for him, man. I hope he does well. And you know what's gonna fucking suck? When he hits a tater off of fucking Dylan Cease game 1 of the season.
I mean, that story is going to be a fantastic story leading up to that game too. I
Well,
mean,
you
like you want to talk
bet
about
your
a great
sweet ass
narrative.
I am putting $20 on Jose Abreu hitting a home run game 1.
Mitch.
Yep, Mitch,
Yeah.
I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, Mitch. I'm looking at you now, Mitch.
It sucks on so many levels because, like, number one, it's like it is a good fit for him. But like, out of all the teams he could go to, like at least with San Diego, which is rumored in there, he's like out of sight, out of mind. Like you see him out in California, like, oh, he's doing, but like Houston, it's like your biggest roadblock in the AL.
Yep.
We get to that point, so like if we do make the playoffs, they're gonna be facing him round 1. Now he doesn't have to babysit the locker room. He's not considered a leader there anymore. He's got battle-tested World Series champions around him. So for the first time in his career, like not everyone in the locker room is looking to him. There's really like no pressure on him. So he's going to put up a career year, and you can't be mad at him. Like, Houston's in the World Series, then you rooting for him and with gritted teeth, that disgusting logo. God, I hate the state of Texas. But
go west till you find it, and south till you step in it.
It sucks. The whole thing sucks. And then for Andrew, like, I know we knew it was gonna happen. It was just like kind of like the shock of the system, like seeing him with the hat on and like not in a White Sox uniform anymore. But like Andrew Vaughn is a replacement. As much as I like Vaughn, like all he has to do to replace Jose Abreu is never miss a game, average around 100 RBIs a year, help recruit all these players. Like, it's hard to replace a guy like that. Even if Vaughn's good, like there's not replacing. You can't replace a Jose Abreu because there was so much other stuff he provided than just the RBIs and stuff on the surface. That's going to be tough to replace. So he will be missed, and that's out of all the teams, man. That sucks. Houston.
And I mean, one of the things that go ahead, Fitz, because I'm about to go off. So go ahead.
I was just going to say, Aldo, would you also like to talk about the sadness of us for us Cub fans?
Yeah, all these White Sox fans crying
also
about
losing Jose Abreu.
Yeah, all these White Sox fans crying about losing Jose Abreu. You guys knew he was going to come back for a month. The Cubs fans still had the hype of like, oh, maybe the Cubs are going to sign him.
Well, what's interesting with all the teams that were in the list? Did you notice like almost all of them were contenders? Like outside maybe the Marlins. But that just goes to show, and that's why he got paid. All of them, like any contending team, wants a Jose Abreu on the roster.
Yeah,
White Sox, I think, contention window. I mean, I don't know.
And
didn't sit well.
And like all the teams were very fast to be like, "Hey guys, we were on it too.
Yeah,
we
were there."
It was the who was it? Like Cleveland. They're like, yeah, we offered him a 3-year deal. San Diego offered him a
San Diego,
deal.
Boston,
the Cubs
Miami,
offered him
and the
2.
Cubs.
Miami was in on it. Yeah, they were like, hey, we were trying.
Yeah.
So that actually brings me to another point that was really, really driving me crazy. And I understand it's a coping mechanism, like when you lose something or someone leaves you, to be like, they suck or it's not that bad or blah, 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 blah. You sound like a fucking moron. I'm just going to say it. I can't hold it. There's no nicer way for me to say it. Jose Abreu, not only did he finish last year top 5 in all of Major League Baseball in hits, but of players that debuted in 1995 and beyond, only 4 have won Rookie of the Year and MVP, and also carry a career slash line of 290, 350, 500 or better. Mike Trout, Ryan Braun, Albert Pujols, Jose Abreu.
Good company. 3 out of 4.
And then, but the whole he's washed, he sucks. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
It's It's the old when a girl breaks up with you. She was ugly anyway. It's that
Oh
ugly.
no,
anyway.
that's 100%. That's what
That's all
it
it
is.
is.
Speaking of that, oh good God, this is how bad my Jose Abreu day was. Once like they had the press conference with the Astros.
Your girl break up with you?
Huh? Well, no, it kind of reminded me of
Whoa.
a quick story time with
It's like,
Mitch.
God damn, dude.
So I'm on the phone with my girlfriend or whatever, and she's like, "Why are you so upset?" And I'm like, "Well,
Sick
you know,
brag.
Abreu left for the Astros." And she's like, "Well, so what? You'll just get like another first baseman." Like, no, you don't understand. It's like being with someone for like 9 years and them dumping you. But it's like even worse because he hit like 100 RBIs a year and won an MVP. And she's like, "Well, no, it can't be that bad. Like, I mean, come on." I'm like, yeah, it is because like hypothetically, we broke up. I wouldn't have to write a 1,000-word article about it for Source Five. Start writing articles about.
Well, Mitch, I mean, now you know what you have to do after 9 years.
Yeah, well, there you go. That article would be terrible. It'd be like Kaminsky's, questionable in-date decision-making, talking all NASCAR, and Jose Abreu is led to the franchise to part ways with the 22-year-old. Like, it would just be
All right.
Uh,
I'm gonna do this once. We just gotta get it over with, Mitch.
Oh.
Pain.
Oh.
but like you said, Zoe, it's not going to be real until he has like the
Yeah, that's
all the
way too
pine
shiny
tar.
of a helmet. Like, yeah, but
The
that just
dirtiest
that hurts,
logo.
man. That hurts. And then Houston tweeting out like, "We don't rebuild, we retool." What picture? Oh, there he is.
Sure.
How did that get in there?
Yeah, why is that?
I didn't put that there. Fids.
Creep.
I sorry, I was on
Yeah.
Facebook posting our thing, and it popped up on my timeline. And I'm like, is this like a picture from Godfather 2? What the hell? Now it needs to be in there though.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else. I mean, for 9 years, Jose Abreu has been nothing but an absolute.
Wait, so what were you about to say? Because I think I was about to add something too. Fuck.
Is that what you were gonna add?
We're talking about his
You're gonna-
jersey.
Perks?
Oh,
His-
Houston tweeting that.
we don't rebuild, we retool.
Jet said that.
I remember the early 2010s.
Yeah.
Which
You
illustrates
motherfuckers rebuilt like no other.
Yes.
Now I do have to say credit where credit is due. They've done a great job. They've done what we thought the Cubs were going to do. They stayed consistent with a good farm system and also just having good players throughout. But you guys rebuilt.
Yeah. And it's just for 9 years, man, Jose Abreu has been an absolute fucking soldier for the south side of Chicago. Not only, as Mitch mentioned, he was vital in the recruitment of like a Luis Robert and bringing some of these other players to this organization. Just a constant mentor for his teammates, active in the community, active with the fans, just ride or die south side of Chicago. And in my mind, he always will be. I mean, I don't care what happens from this point forward. Jose Abreu should have a statue built for him because we love building fucking statues, and not a Sean Taylor statue, like an actual statue. That's God, that was embarrassing. But I'm almost 40 years. I'm a man. I'm almost 40.
I'm a man.
And I've seen kind of like the Bears with linebackers, the White Sox with first baseman. It's gone in my life, Frank Thomas to Paul Konerko to Jose Abreu. Now that's a fucking trio right there. You know what I mean? Like, I feel very like privileged that I've been able to see those three careers in my White Sox fandom. Which brings, I guess, to the next point. The torch has now officially been passed. Is Andrew Vaughn the guy to carry? That was impeccable timing. Now you ruined it, but that was really good timing on the first one. But is Andrew Vaughn, is he that guy? Now, we'll kind of go around because I know where some of you guys are with him, but I've been thinking about this a lot since the Abreu news, and Han came out and said, we're real bullish on Andrew Vaughn. He did his lawyer bullshit, and I think he can be. I think the tools are there. I think he was making what we've seen of Andrew Vaughn so far is a guy making the best out of a bad situation. He's been thrown into a position he's never played, and it's not like you're getting eased into it. It's like, hi, you're in the major leagues, go play the outfield. And how does that affect his hitting? Well, it's a different game. Like your whole mindset about everything. So as we've said about some of the other players on this team, going into a season now, having a full off season, knowing you are the guy at first base. That is your position now. You are day one starter at first base. You're a first baseman. Prepare as a first baseman. Get ready for this season as the starting first baseman for the Chicago White Sox. I think Andrew Vaughn could have a big year.
I mean, he fucking better. I mean, Kevin mentioned again. I know we're moving on from the Jose Abreu, but just, Kevin, the last time we were on, mentioned like the biggest thing that you're gonna miss from Jose Abreu is like besides like the leadership and the clubhouse and just stuff like that, the day in and day out, is what Cubs fans saw with Chris Bryant is just the consistency. Like yes, he got off to the slow starts in April. But like that he was going to turn it on, and then for like 4.5 straight months, you knew that at the end of the season you were going to get like 25 home runs, 100 RBIs. He was going to come through.
Yep.
Andrew Vaughn, I know Kevin loves him. He has had success, and some very like the 2020 season was just weird. He was like facing janitors out in wherever they were. And then, so like, how much development do you even get there? He gets, like you said, Zoe, in a position where like he's starting in the outfield, starting in left field and right field when he's like not used to doing that at all. So you would think that, like you said, he has a clear head now. He doesn't have to worry about like, fuck, I have to go out there and play left field, and I hope I don't make a fool of myself today. So he should be much better defensively. But these guys are human. So like I do think like at the beginning I could see a slow start, but like just the weight of and like the thought of fuck, I do have to replace one of the most beloved players on this team. So I think that's definitely going to be at least maybe like in April, or at least the first couple weeks where he's going to feel that pressure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to answer the initial question is like, can he replace it? Like, or is he going to be that guy? Like, no, I don't think so, but he doesn't have to be. Like, he could be the old, like, if he hits like 270 or around 20 homers, that's fine if he's playing sufficient defense. It's going to come down to the Yasmani Grandals, Luis Roberts, and Yoan Moncada's that like had the down years. Like, he doesn't need to be what Jose Abreu was. If he's a solid hitter, which I think he will be better. And you made the point where now he's going to be playing a position that he's comfortable with. So that's only going to help. But like, I don't think he's going to be what Jose Abreu is. Like that's a generational type player. But if he's just a solid like 270 plus hitter, that's fine. It's the pressure is going to be on the Grandals, Moncada, and Robert to stay healthy and produce like they should have been from the start. So I think that's what the real pressure is on, not even Vaughn.
Well, Fids, you've always been very bullish. Apparently, that's the term to use now on Andrew Vaughn. I mean, what do you anticipate seeing from him in this upcoming season?
Well, first off, I do think before I even address that, I do want to ask this question since Jose Abreu is headed to Houston. I do want to play a game. Is this a jazz trumpeter musician or is this Jeff Bagwell?
Dude, that fucking goatee.
Jesus.
Holy
He
shit.
looked like a shitty college professor at like a community college.
He looks like he plays bass in a church praise team. So anyway, so back to it.
Wizard.
I think that this is a good opportunity for him. I think the pressure's off. He's going to get into a routine. He's going to be able to have stability. I think it's unnecessary expectation to believe that he's going to come out and have an Abreu type of season. But he's a different player. He's not the same. I think you get an upgrade at the defensive side of the equation because I do think he is a pretty solid defender. But I think that there's going to be some pressure on him to just White Sox fans, they're going to expect him to be Pito. He's not, and you let the guy be let Andrew Vaughn be Andrew Vaughn. And that's going to be the pressure he's going to face, is because now he's stepping into a role that was occupied by an all-time great White Sox player. At the same time, it cancels out a little bit because he's going to have that routine. He's going to be able to show up to the ballpark. He's not going to be jumping around having to take a billion fungos in the outfield, but trying to learn a position that he's not really naturally made for. He's going to be expected to play the position that he's been playing for a long time now, and he's going to be able to get back to what he does well. So for him, it might take a couple weeks into the season, but I do think that you're going to see him slowly get into that routine and start playing the way that Andrew Vaughn plays. He's not Jose Abreu. He's Andrew Vaughn. And what Vaughn does is different. He's not going to hit 50 homers. He could drive in 100 runs, sure, but he's not that guy. And so that's the big expectation. But I think it's going to be fine. I think that you're going to miss Jose Abreu in the lineup. Obviously, you just lose that bat. But I do think this now, and again, I think we've talked about it before. This isn't really the Sox taking Abreu over Vaughn either. This was the Sox taking Eloy over Vaughn, because Eloy now can just DH. Vaughn could play first. The White Sox can fill in where they need. So I think that you're going to see, I think he'll have a solid season, but I think that it'd be unfair to him to expect him to be Jose Abreu. Let him just be Andrew Vaughn. And I think Andrew Vaughn, his type of play and what he brings can help a team win a lot of ball games.
Well, another thing Vaughn's going to have going for him too, if you look at his splits, he was pretty bad in September. Like the numbers just kind of fell off a cliff. And I think a lot of that had to do with fatigue too. Because, like, let's face it, playing first base is a lot easier than playing right field. He's not going to have to be running around that much. I think he'll have his legs more under him in September. So that's only going to help the production as well. Because, as you mentioned, running around BP, taking fungos, whatever, and then in games, it's a lot harder on you than if you're just playing a corner infield spot. So I think he's going to have that working to his advantage as well.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I think is important, well, I'm going to say this, and I know it'll never happen, but if he's not batting like 700 after April, May, like people need to give him a little cushion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm like? I don't think it's fair to like expect him to come out as a world beater. Like he's not a rookie, and it's fine to have higher expectations for him, but I just think it's a little silly. I know you know what's going to happen.
Just to play devil's advocate here, what if he has a similar season that he had 2022? So like 17 home runs.
No, I need more
he hits
power
like
from him.
2 something. That's another question. Do we know the humidor situation? Did they figure that out? Because like, what if offense is just what it is, and like 17 home runs is now considered like that's your team leader?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a whole nother topic in itself with the new hitting coach and just a whole new regime in there. I would expect that the power numbers,
like they have to go up.
Well, there's really nowhere else for them to go.
You would think so.
Coach, the Braves were first in the National League in home runs this year, second the year before. That's going to help with something. And then you got that Tosar they brought on the staff that helped turn Salvi around. Like he had his best home run season after working with Salvador or with the Tosar. Same with Jorge Soler. So, I mean, they got some guys that have a track record of turning players around and working with teams that hit for power. So I do like a lot of the guys that have been brought in. And I also think the fact that 2 new positions were added and the one's going to allegedly help with the conditioning of them and the health, I think that's a step in the right direction, that Griffel's already making some positive impact on the organization.
And don't sleep on Castro, man. The Castro has been the last 8 seasons with Atlanta, who has ripped the cover off the baseball and had a fantastic offensive approach. So he's bringing in pretty good mindset from a place that actually, again, an outsider bringing in mindset of another world champion here in the last couple of years. So that's another big part of it. I mean, look at Freddie Freeman. Look at some of the guys that he's worked with across the board. He's worked with some fantastic hitters. These guys are going to have a different approach. It's not the Menachino put the ball on the ground thing. I'm sorry that was he tried to kind of shy away from that, but we could smell a lie like a fart in a car on that one. That was part of that. And so you've got a whole new approach, and I think that's going to be big for all of these guys across the board.
And I know White Sox fans aren't going to hear this because obviously you want like major additions offensively, but I mean, like Mitch alluded to it a little earlier, like the guys that you count on that are already on your team, like they just have to step up, and that just includes like being healthy.
Mhm.
Like, if
Yep.
Eli
Well-
Jimenez is healthy for a full year, he's gonna fucking rock.
We all know the
If
slogan.
Luis Robert is healthy for a full year, like, he is good. So
We all know the slogan. White Sox baseball.
I mean,
Just stay healthy. I mean,
Survive.
you do have to sign a solid outfielder though to play left. You do need that.
Well, I guess that's a natural progression into the next news of the last week or so, as the White Sox went out and they signed Mike Clevenger.
Hell yeah.
I mean, yay.
Yep. I mean,
mean,
that was
it's,
perfect because I
yeah.
think that was the response overall.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
so Clevenger is, what is he, 31 years old. He'll be 32. His birthday's December 21st, so he'll be 32 this upcoming season. 2 Tommy John surgeries. Missed some time this last season for knee issues as well. But he's still a better pitcher than most of what the White Sox have on staff. So I think what the White Sox did was they went out, they solidified a 4-5 starter for themselves. And I guess in the spirit of what we were just talking about, you just hope that he stays healthy. I was hoping to get it around 12 or 10 mil. They got him for 12, which I think is also, between this deal and what Abreu got, I think that shows where this market is going to be going in this offseason. I mean, if you look at Baseball Reference, his projections in 2023, they got him with a 4.11 ERA, 116 innings pitched. Ooh, okay. 123 WHIP.
I did want to bring that up.
I mean, he's not a horse anymore, but if he can be basically they're looking for him to be a better, like, Cueto type deal.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was a lot higher on the signing than the average White Sox fan was at first, but shout out to Beefloaf. I was reading his blog on Clevenger, and the one thing, and I know obviously the 2 Tommy Johns, I don't know why, like in my head that kind of just like went out and was like, yeah, guys have Tommy John, but because he did have 2 of them, and then he pointed out in his blog, he has only pitched more than what, like 100, where he's like only pitched
starts the year once.
Yeah,
Except-
one time.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
that projection of 116 innings, like, yeah, like he just hasn't been on the mound.
Yeah.
So that kind of brought my expectations a little down.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Mitch. Sorry.
I still like the signing though.
Well, like I was kind of, when it first got announced, I was more in like the meh camp, because like it really comes down to like, who would you rather have, Johnny Cueto or Clevenger for the year? And obviously Cueto was a workhorse last year. So initially, you know, one of the fan favorites is like, yeah, you want Cueto back. But like, bro, like looking at it a little bit more, I do kind of like the signing, because one, he's only expected to be like a 4, but he has the potential, based off his track record, to be at least like a pretty like a 2. So there is that potential there. Cueto, as we mentioned, he came in like with some motivation because he had that minor league contract, so he's motivated. Clevenger's the same way. 1-year deal. He's trying to bump his stock. You got a motivated guy. So I like that factor with him too. Like talent-wise too, I think you argue he's got more talent than Cueto at this point in his career. And now that Cueto's been in the American League for a season, and I know, Fids, you alluded to this too, like he wasn't as good against National League teams because in the American League they hadn't seen him as much. So I don't think you can really expect another big year from Cueto again. So I think for $12 million, you're getting a higher upside for it. Is it risky because of the injuries? Yeah, but he was once an ace. And so if you can get the guy to be pitching at like a 3 level, he makes your rotation better. You have to overpay a little bit in free agency, yeah. But for a 1-year deal, I did not hate it. I think the Sox rotation is better with him in it than it was at the end of the year last year.
I think that's fair. I think the last sentence there is fair. And I mean, the other thing is just, how do I want to put this? We don't know what this rotation is going to look like yet, game 1. I don't think it's set. I really don't. Just call it a hunch, call it whatever it is. And the other thing that with Clevenger, and I think some people are alluding to it in the comments, like there's this whole thing about him kind of being a dickhead, an asshole, whatever you want to call it. And I understand there was that thing with the vaccination when he was with Cleveland, breaking some rules during that time in 2020. I'm pretty sure, and correct me if I'm wrong, unlike the other knob, he actually apologized for it and like owned up to it.
Yeah.
And we do have some people that have contacts or still are currently in the MLB that are friends of the show, and asked them kind of what the vibe was about Clevenger around the league. And Fids, when he comes back, will tell you he got a couple responses just saying, good clubhouse guy, fierce competitor, likes to party, but also is the one of the most intense guys on the field. So I mean, Fid, you could talk to that a little bit more. You're the one that put it out there. The feedback you got from your people about Clevenger, like just as a locker room guy.
Well, I mean, so the person with firsthand knowledge of him, which is from San Diego, is that he was especially when you have a guy that goes through injury, it tells a hell of a lot about their personality and their character and the kind of person they are, because some guys are assholes and some guys aren't. And during his time in San Diego, even when he was banged up, he was a good teammate. And then someone that talks to people more regularly that played with him, especially in Cleveland, he's a fun party guy. I mean, he's a stoner, likes good music. He's a Florida Seminole kind of guy down. He's from Southern Florida, and he's a guy that has a little bit of a temper. He doesn't like to lose. I wouldn't say temper. He doesn't like to lose. So he's a guy that hates losing. That's a good thing to have in your clubhouse. And he could turn into half a prick on the bump, but he's not a guy that's going to treat his teammates like shit. He has, everyone wants to talk about 2020. The dude literally apologized and didn't make excuses. It was a full apology. It was not like I apologize, but it was I messed up and I understand what I did. I let my teammates down, yada, yada, yada. And they moved on. They were fine. Like, it's over. Like, his former teammates, his current team, there's no question marks about his personality.
Traded his ass right away.
They do for the return that they got. I would have traded his ass too.
Well, no, they traded him because they got to get
Josh Taylor in the division.
Great.
And San Diego was smart. They're like, oh, look at the optics on this. Maybe they want to get rid of it because it was 2020. The COVID stuff was extremely intense.
Trade for the Padres.
And so, but obviously in the end it didn't work. But if had it have worked, it would have been a good one. But he doesn't have a bad teammate reputation. He has one mistake. And I did see stuff on White Sox Twitter. People, as soon as you get signed, it feels like every time the White Sox sign somebody, it immediately everyone's jumping in their trash to check in their receipts. Like, oh, he cheated on his girlfriend back in the blah, blah, blah. It's really strange to me that, like, if you don't like a signing, you're just like, let's dig into this guy. Because I saw some stuff about like that kind of stuff, some accusations that maybe he cheated on his pregnant girlfriend or something like that. And I'm like, look, you have the same people have no problem with Tim Anderson, but they're going to talk about Clevenger. It can't have both. Yeah, so he's just one of those guys. He's a guy that he's a fun guy to be around. He's a good clubhouse. Like, he's a party guy. Again, he's a Grateful Dead nerd, like stoner. He probably loves to talk about his loaf and his hair growing it out. And I mean, he's going to be fun. White Sox fans are going to love him. I think he's a high floor number 5 with high upside. Because if he pitches like he can, he's a 5 if he pitches like last year. If he pitches like his best year, I mean, you got a 3. So and for what, 12 million? Is that what it was?
Yeah. It's interesting. The White Sox in 2020 tried to trade for him. Like, they were offering Nick Madrigal, and I think it was Rutherford was the other guy, and then they ended up going to the Padres. But imagine that we've traded him for him, and then he had the Tommy John. So like, that was one of the few times I think it worked out better for us in the Padres.
White Sox always get their guy.
Like, can you imagine Nick Madrigal with all the fucking Cleveland this year singling you to death?
He would fit in really well with that team.
Yeah.
Good thing Cleveland didn't do that. They got much better players.
I think it's a good signing, though.
Is Jerry going to make him cut his hair?
Ooh, better not.
I doubt it.
Michael trim the beard. Well, I guess he made him like trim it. It wasn't as long.
Because was it like Kopech like growing his hair out and then he got a haircut?
No, I think he did that voluntarily. I don't think they made him. I don't think it's like the Yankees.
No, they do. They have some weird shit. They do so.
Michael said like usually the beard wouldn't be like. He said he had to trim it. Like when he first got introduced, it was like, yeah, Jerry made me trim it, but he said I could like keep it like this. Like,
Dude, Jose Abreu had that beard ponytail.
No, that's why I remember it came out because they're like, so what is that? Oh, by the way, how about the White Sox? That shitty end up not really a trade, but like just in free agency. You guys get Dallas Keuchel, Houston gets Jose Abreu.
Ugh,
Ouch.
that hurts.
I think White Sox, by the way, should let him just grow. Look at as big as look as scumbag as possible. Like look like he just rolled out of like off the beach and haven't showered in weeks, which most pitchers are
it's
kind of
more
dirty.
intimidating. What do you want all these like?
Is he going to be Chicago tough? That's the big question.
Intimidating.
I think he'll be fine. It looks like he's got that kind of just asshole in him when he's getting competitive. Like Fitz said, he doesn't like to lose, and I think that'll play well with this
We
fan
need more
base.
people like that in the locker room.
Yeah.
Because how many times did we watch them last year where they're like, they don't look like they give a shit. We need more
But
guys.
here's
If he's a dick, so be it.
and here's the thing too. He's not a leader. Okay, like so there are guys in the clubhouses that are leaders, right? There's the dudes that are like that are gonna give the speech. He's gonna be like, all right, bro, got you. Let's go to work. That's his. He's gonna stand. He's gonna linger to the back, and he's gonna do his thing. He's not gonna be a cancer, but he's not that guy that's gonna stand in front of everybody and like, he's gonna worry about his job, and he hates losing, but he's not. You're not gonna look at him as like a clubhouse alpha. That's somebody else's job.
Yeah.
He's not Dallas Keuchel trying to be a leader, even though he's a prick.
Well, I mean, let's call it what it is. It's Tim Anderson's team now.
Yeah.
This is
I'm
Tim
saying with the
Anderson's
pitching
team.
staff too. I'm talking with the pitching staff itself,
Right.
like because the staff also is like completely a separate entity than your regular clubhouse. You've got your, what you guys are doing in your PFPs, and those guys are off on their own a lot. So I think that this is Cease's team, and I wouldn't be
So-
shocked if him and Cease are buddies.
I mean, one thing we heard from this team all season was there isn't like there was never that like one like rah guy in the locker room. But what Jose Abreu would do was he'd pull people to the side all the time and give them like the old like, "Hey man, you're fucking up," or like some kind of speech like that. I
And
could
then
see
they kept jogging to first base.
I could see TA doing stuff like that. I could see him doing the off to the side stuff. I don't think there's a guy that's gonna like stand up and do a whole like rah speech on the squad right now, and I don't think they need that with the new
Well,
boss in charge.
the new leader for the White Sox needs to be whoever's in charge of the like the rehab, their training staff. That needs to be the leader of the White Sox.
Well,
Keep
yeah.
these guys on the field.
Then aren't they doing a line change with that? I mean, I know nothing's been official yet, but somebody said they
I thought I read that they brought in someone else. Yeah, like
Jeff Head,
well,
I think his name was. They
that's
brought-
the other story that came up was on what was that? Tuesday. The White Sox announced their coaching staff finally. So they made it official. Charlie Montoyo is the bench coach. Ethan Katz remains the pitching coach. Kurt
Love
Hasler stays in the bullpen. Then you get Jose Castro, who we briefly talked about. He is now the hitting coach for the White Sox. Basically a career-long assistant hitting coach. He bounced around a couple teams. He's been with the Braves for a while now.
decade almost.
Yeah, as Mitch mentioned, home run numbers down there increased under his tutelage, if you will. So, I mean, I'm just happy. New face, see what happens. But the other what they did too, everybody wanted, well, not everybody, but there was a faction of White Sox fans that wanted Chris Johnson to be promoted from the Charlotte Knights as the White Sox hitting coach. And instead of doing that, they made Castro the hitting coach, but they did promote Chris Johnson to assistant hitting coach. Now, we heard from numerous amount of players that did rehab stints or were sent down and came back. The loudest being Gavin Sheets saying, I came down here and worked with Chris and he helped me kind of figure something out. So
It's a good thing. It's a
I
good
like
sign.
having him up with the squad. And then fucking Daryl Boston.
It's a fucking snitch.
I,
Hey, you know what? They took him off the base running because he used to be in charge of base running, and they're
Yep.
like, no, Montoyo's going to be in charge of base running. Debo's
Yep.
basically there to help with the outfielders. So
yeah, but he stays on as first base coach. Teflon Debo, man. I just
Well, it's because he's Rick Hahn's clubhouse spy. That's what I think.
I just-
Spy.
it's just, I mean,
I mean, he
understand.
sure as hell isn't coaching defense in the outfield. because that's been bad
that
too.
was his job last. I mean, I don't understand how he keeps that, but
I love the Montoya hire though. I like a lot because you got a brand new first year head coach and you got a guy that's got 3+ years of experience as a manager. He's got a 500 record with the Blue Jays, 236 regular season record, a wild card berth in 2020. He's gotten to coach such great players. I mean, you got Bichette, Guerrero, Hernandez, Kirk, Manoah, Semien. I was gonna say Seaman, Springer, Stroman. I mean, you've got these guys. He's been around a lot of good players, so he's a really good person to lean on in that first year as a manager, for that clubhouse, for that dugout. You got somebody that has some experience. So where the White Sox just went from a guy with an inordinate amount of experience as the manager and a guy with zero experience as a manager, other than like filling in for people when they got fired in Castro. Now you've got the reverse. You've got a guy that doesn't have managerial experience yet. And now you've got someone that does as his bench coach. And I think maybe that's where the dynamic will actually finally work, which is you need to have that give and take, good cop, bad cop, break people down, build them back up. And you've got to have that as a collective, cohesive unit as a coaching staff. So
yeah,
I think that's I love the Montoya move.
and
there's an article about it at sportsmockery.com about the new coaching staff. But the one thing that stood out to me, like going through that whole thing and writing, it was like the variety of different backgrounds all these guys. You have a lot of different voices from a lot of different situations. There's some big analytic guys. There's some former players. And then they got this new director of sports performance. I think that's going to help with the rehab and the health stuff.
I wasn't finished with the lineup here. We're going to get to that guy, Mitch. You're
Let Zoe get down to tell us that the White Sox got head.
Yeah. Well, then they got
Tosar. Love it.
Eddie Rodriguez is the third base coach. Mike Tosar is the major league field coordinator. I don't really know what that means.
That means that Griffel wanted him on the staff, so they created a position for him.
And then
the hitting coach, and they kind of compromised with.
What does that mean? He's with the defense? Isn't he a defense? Major league field coordinator makes it. He's a defensive guy, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's also helped. The way Griffel is describing it, him and Johnson and Rodriguez, I think it was, they're all kind of got to combine to help with the hitting department.
Yeah, well, because he was a roving hitting coach with the Royals, right? And then he was a special assignment hitting coach with the Dodgers, actually, for 7 years.
To pick his staff, or was there some?
I think it was a little bit of both.
Well, this guy's from Kansas City, so
yeah,
Well, I think Mitch mentioned it, how I think he wanted him as the hitting coach, but they kind of just made up a position for him.
Yeah,
so
but
by the way, I think Ed is that training guy. By the way, he's the health and performance guy from the Reds that they brought over.
Well, he was with the Giants. Well, he was with the Giants for 9 years, then the Reds for 3, then they let him go, and now he's with the Sox.
Yeah,
He's a strength and conditioning guy. Yeah, he's a major league sports scientist. Wow, that's cool name.
His official title is Senior Director of Sports Performance.
Yep.
Hell yeah!
So he's a big analytic guy, but yes, and then, but I mean, Griffel got Eddie Rodriguez is Griffel's boy. So he brought him over. I think, like you guys said, I think it was a mix. I think this was a collaborative effort, which is great. But also looking at the staff, there's no more Han being like, I couldn't really do anything. This has Han's fingerprints all over it.
Except for one guy.
Fucking Debo, man.
No. Tony
Tony
got his one guy still a job. Shelly Duncan has some made up analytics position.
You know what? I bet Shelly Duncan is happy as shit that he doesn't have to explain to Tony what America Online is.
Shelly Duncan has a job because his dad is Dave Duncan.
Right. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He doesn't have to spend his time dumbing down analytics. I'm not saying dumbing down is a bad way to put it. He doesn't have to spend his time explaining and trying to convince the people in charge the value of the analytics. He just now can actually do his job and lay it out for them to play it out. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think he's going to be happy.
That was a favor for Tony La Russa.
And which is fine. I mean,
well, no, I don't think that's not a big deal. I'm just saying, I think it's funny.
Yeah. And then, so those are the big White Sox news. And I mean, there's been some other stuff around the league, if you will, going on. Speaking of the Toronto Blue Jays bench coach, Don Mattingly just took that position officially, which I think was a great hire for the Blue Jays.
Did he?
What's up?
Did he quit, Don Mattingly? Did he quit the Miami job, or did he get fired? I'm pretty sure. Didn't he quit?
can't remember.
I don't know. I honestly don't know how that ended.
I think they like part of because he was like kind of done. Because I think they would have kept him around. So I just find it interesting. And I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he like quit the Marlins job. So I figured he was just kind of retiring, and now he's taking on
A bench coach role.
I mean, that's a good hire for
Yeah.
them. Like
That's
that's
a very good role.
interesting.
Mhm.
Be a shit show down in Miami.
And then, with the winter meetings coming up in a week, there's been reports from Passan and some of the other baseball national writers that they expect a lot of activity to go on, if you will, coming out of these winter meetings. Reason being why everything's been so slow. And I personally think, like the last couple of off seasons, there's like a beaver dam holding up all the signings and everything. And this year, that dam is Aaron Judge. We all know he's been in San Francisco meeting with them. Steph Curry.
Who's gonna unplug the beaver?
Yep. Steph Curry and his boys have been in these meetings. San Francisco is, but on Wednesday, it became public that the offer on the table from the Yankees is 8 years, $300 million. Now, I don't know if there's any wiggle room there or what, but San Francisco now knows what they got to beat, what they got to go with. And I think if Aaron Judge does go outside of New York, which I still firmly believe he's going to be on the Giants, if and when that does happen, I feel like the reason why some of these other big free agents are waiting is because New York is going to go absolutely batshit crazy with their spending to make up for the loss of Aaron Judge.
I mean, they have to do. Yeah, they have to do something.
Right. And I mean, I'm talking about like DeGrom, Rodon, one of the 4 big shortstops. Like all these guys have to be.
They should go hard after Swanson.
You just don't want him on the
It
Cubs.
is yeah.
Get him. Get
you
him,
just
Yankees.
don't want him on the Cubs because he's going to the Cubs.
God.
But
You're trashing Swanson, but when all these other shortstops sign and he's the only one left, you're gonna be like, "Oh, we want Swanson."
No, I've said it from the beginning.
Wow.
Like, if the Cubs end up with Dansby Swanson, it's fine. But it's like he is definitely 4th on the list.
Yeah, and a distant 4th, I believe too. I don't think.
Yeah, exactly.
He had an outlier year this year. That's he's going to get paid for somewhere, and I hope the Cubs aren't the one that fall for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yankees, get him.
Yep, go.
So, but that's, I mean, I really think that's the case, though. I mean, I don't know if you guys, but it's like once the Aaron Judge stick falls, like the whole thing is going to the floodgates are going to open.
I mean, we saw it with Clevenger with the White Sox, and then Abreu with Houston. Like the reason, obviously the biggest reason I think with Abreu and the Astros is because like he's going to an automatic World Series contender, and he got $60 million, which he wasn't going to pass that up. Like that was, I don't think any of us had him getting 3 years. And he got that 3rd year. Great for him. Mike Clevenger, like Mitch said, sometimes you have to overpay a little in free agency. So he did.
Especially
There's a reason that Mike Clevenger signed right away because he knew he was getting $12 million from that this is going to be like the best offer probably. So it's going to take it's either going to be Aaron Judge or what we saw the Rangers do last offseason. Like maybe it's going to be the Phillies with Trey Turner, where like they're just like, all right, nuts on the table. Here's our offer. This is what it's going to be. Take it or leave it. Maybe that's what's like the big move that gets things rolling.
Yeah, that's got a lot of steam right now. Is Trey Turner to the Phillies?
Yeah.
I mean, and
License not shift on over.
there's a lot of like, if there's smoke, there's fire type going on right now, which also leads me to believe that some shit's going to go down at the winter meetings because I feel like stuff is starting to lead out. The other big story was that Xavier Bogaerts and Boston just are done.
Yeah.
They're just not.
That's rough.
They're just not talking. And as you pointed up in our group chat, this is playing out almost exactly like it was with John Lester.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
as much shit as the Cubs got with their core, and deservedly so. I mean, we know this, Kevin.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
If you look at what the Red Sox have done in the past like 2 or 3 years, starting with Mookie Betts, and now with Bogaerts, and like I mean JD Martinez is walking. I think. I mean he's a little older now, so he's different. But like they're letting these guys go too and not getting anything.
Mhm.
The fact they won a couple World Series, though.
Well, Bogarts, they didn't get a QO, did he? Or did he get a QO?
He did. So they'll
so they're
get
gonna
like
get
a draft
something.
pick.
Yeah.
But like and like it's the low ball offers. I think back in the season he was offered, or like before the end of spring training, I think he got offered 4 years for $90 million. And like this is a guy that's getting projected to get like 6-7 years for like close to $200 million.
Yeah.
Like think about that low ball offer. So yeah, looks like things are not great between Bogarts and the Red Sox, which I love as a Cubs fan because that's the one guy right now who is being linked most to the Cubs in recent
Yes.
days.
So, and then another interesting article came out. ESPN did their annual GM survey, if you will, before the winter meetings. Couple things of interest here. The first one that I saw was in the who will be the most notable traded player this winter. 3 GM said Sean Murphy, 3 said Pablo Lopez, 2 said Brian Reynolds, 2 said Corbin Burns, 1 said Colton Juan, 1 said Fernando Tatis Jr., which we should talk about in a second, but 2 said Lucas Giolito. And I guess going all the way back to what I was just talking about with the Clevenger signing, I am not fully convinced that this White Sox rotation is set in stone as of right now.
I mean,
think-
for one, they have to sign another starting pitcher just because there is uncertainty with like Michael Kopech, right? Like I know they said that he's going to be
there's
ready.
uncertainty with Kopech. There's uncertainty with Clevenger.
Clevenger.
There's, I mean, Davis Martin had a solid
rookie
first rookie year where, he could be a spot guy for you. And I'm sure they probably think they got another guy that can be
like that's the thing. If you trade Giolito, you either have to get a pitcher in return, or you're trading, or you're going to sign another starting pitcher who you can rely on at least,
right.
starting 25 games or something.
There's a guy named Carlos Rodon out there.
Like Lance Lynn's really the only big workhorse guy that they have. It's like done a year in and year out. That's the one big concern with Clevenger is because with Davis Martin, you could afford an injury-prone Kopech because you have Martin to make up a couple spot starts here and there. Now you got 2 of those guys, so one of them's got to stay healthy. Otherwise, it's going to be.
I just with the whole trade Giolito. I mean, this is like the definition of selling low.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that
you're not planning on giving him an extension, so
right.
at least get something for him because you're not.
No, and I understand. I think he would also be part of. I don't think he'd be a one-off trade. I think he'd be part of a package.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a
to the
Lucas
Twins.
or a Liam Hendricks and Lucas Giolito to the Dodgers.
For who? Bellinger's a free agent now. You can't have him back.
No, go get me
Gavin
like
Lux?
Gavin Lux and give me one of their million stud farm arms that they have.
What was that guy's name?
Peapot. I mean the
Pot.
Not Paul Pot. That's
the
not
stud is
wrong guy.
the stud is Bobby Miller, but I mean they
Whatever
have a
happened to
couple.
Dustin May? Is he healthy?
No, I want nothing to do with that. The White Sox don't need another guy whose arm could fall off at any time. That's just pass.
He has long curly red hair there.
Okay.
Jake Diekman's enough for redheads.
Yeah.
And setup guy.
But I just think, and I tweeted this
Jake
out.
Diekman is too good in MLB The Show. I don't know why.
That is weird.
Doesn't make any sense.
I tweeted out. I stand by it. I really still think that the White Sox, in some way, shape, or form, whether it be Liam Hendricks or whatever they got to do, are going to make a deal with the Dodgers. I don't know why. I don't really have a solid foundation for this. I really think it's going to be Liam Hendricks, though. I really do. But
I guess it depends how much they trust. I guess it would be whoever, if it's Lopez or Graveman, to be the closer.
well, unprovoked in a recent interview, I saw Raylo basically saying like his goal
Just to be a
is
closer.
to be in Major League Baseball, is
You
to be a
know, I read
closer.
that too
What?
on Sports Mocker. I read that on Sports Mocker. Shout out Mitch.
Shout out Mitch. But I can see Raylo being the closer. I'm actually pretty okay with that. So that's why if they can get, and I think they can get a pretty solid return for Liam Hendricks at this point, I rip it.
It'd have to be a good return though, because people feel like
gotta listen.
Hendricks is a stud.
What's a good return?
Well, I think, like you said, if you got Gavin Lux, if you included Giolito and you got a Gavin Lux, he solved the second base issue, then yeah, then I'd rip.
I don't think the Dodgers would do that.
But I don't either. Yeah, maybe.
Who's the Dodgers got a kid in their system that plays second base? That's pretty good. Hold on.
What about Colton Wong?
No, I don't want Colton Wong. I don't know why people are all about Colton Wong.
Because your starting second baseman right now, though, is Lurie
It's
Garcia.
a joke.
That's why.
Our starting second baseman is a joke. Oh, Michael Bush.
Oh,
Oh, I mean, I know why you
knew that
want
was
him,
coming.
though. I know why you want him, though.
Michael Bush. That would be the name to look for. He did. He's okay. AAA this year, 266, 343, 480 with an 823 OPS. You got any power, kid? 21 home runs in AAA. Not great, but is what it is.
Bush.
55 hit, 55 power, 45 run, 45 arm, 45 field. Overall, he's a 55 grade prospect. Plays second base and outfield, second base primary. He was a first round draft pick in 2019 by the Dodgers. Yeah, I mean, if you can get, I don't know though. I mean,
Oh, Michael Bush.
they're pretty high on him.
Like they're not trading. I don't think they're trading Gavin Lux.
No, I don't think so either. But if you can trade like a Liam Hendricks and get like a Michael Bush and a Ryan Pipiot.
Pipia.
Pipiot.
That's it. But see, that's the other thing with Pipia. Why would they want Lucas Giolito when they can just be like, well, we can just keep developing this
Because
guy
Lucas
for cheaper.
Lucas Giolito goes to the Dodgers, he's gonna win the Cy Young. That's what the Dodgers do.
But it's going to cost them like $10 million, and they can just pay this guy $700,000 to do the same thing.
Mhm.
Because they're a fucking pitching factory machine.
They signed Shelby Miller. I didn't even know he was still in the league.
Exactly. So I'm scared. The Cubs had Shelby Miller. Do you remember this, Kevin? Remember
Yeah.
when they signed Shelby? And he sucked to fucking balls in
Yeah.
2021. Now he's gonna win comeback player of the year. I'm convinced.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
That dude, Shelby Miller is. How old do you think he is? That guy's been around forever, and I think he's only like 33 or something like that.
I thought Shelby Miller was 40. And I'm not like being like
Let me-
I'm not
let me
like trying
look
to
it
be
up.
like funny or anything like that. I honestly, when I saw that signing, I was like, how the fuck old is Shelby? Shelby Miller's been in the league
He's
for
32.
he's been in the league for 20 years.
Jesus.
I don't
You
understand.
were in high school.
32. He
That's
made his
wild.
debut in what, like 2000? The last time he pitched, the Cubs was like in. Yeah, no, Shelby Miller with the Dodgers is gonna. He's just gonna be, I don't know, like elite setup man or something.
Mhm.
No, he'll probably win National League Comeback Player of the Year.
And he just turned 32, by the way. His birthday was in October. So
Shelby Miller hands the ball to Liam Hendricks. Dodgers win the World Series. Boom, done. I mean, there's partners out there. There's ways the White Sox can go with this. I mean, the Zips projections came out, so of course we had it's like an annual holiday of Zips projection overreaction day. But the
they
thing
love
that's
Andrew Vaughn.
the thing that's glaring though is just how absolute dog shit the White Sox are at second base. Like, I understand there's not like this like abundance of stud second basemen in Major League Baseball right now, but it's just, I mean, what the fuck, dude? Like, it's gotta be better than that. Plus, you got Eloy now as your DH. You have Andrew Vaughn as your first baseman. Stop fucking putting Gavin Sheets in the outfield. So, what's that leave you with? Luis Robert and Oscar Colas, and then you still need an outfielder.
Gavin Sheets.
Oh God damn it!
That'd be so bad.
Hello.
God
Or
damn it!
Larry Garcia.
If you're letting Abreu walk to avoid having too many first baseman DH in the roster, you better not have a Gavin Sheets or Andrew Vaughn in the outfield.
Hello.
Right. I mean, that's when you get the whole Joey Gallo, Cody Bellinger, Conforto. Like,
I'd be
Yeah.
fine with any one of those guys.
are they gonna go grab one of those guys? Like,
Good defensive outfielder too. I mean, a couple of those guys can actually play it well out there.
yeah. And
I mean, Bellinger, you're probably gonna have to give around like 20 million, I would imagine, a year, 18 to 20.
Sox aren't doing that. I can tell you
No.
that right now, guys. They're not.
and the way this market's going, Mitch, you're absolutely right. And then Aldo's right too, though. The Sox are they're not gonna do that.
Like, okay, I know that there was that early report, I think from James Fagan from The Athletic, where they were saying the payroll is probably going to go down a little bit compared to what it was in 2022. They've already spent the $12 million on Clevenger. Has that deal been officially announced? 'Cause
Clevenger,
I still think like part of that money is buyout money. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't think it's beneficial.
Because I think Morosi first said $8 million. He said at least $8 million. And then it was Jim Bowden who said 12 million. But I think there's going to be like I don't know.
I mean,
Whatever that is.
there hasn't been like an official tweet
Right.
or anything
Yeah.
from the White Sox that this deal is done.
But let's say it's 12 million because it's guaranteed money because let's say it's like buyout money. So it's 12 million. Like how much more do they have to spend? Because we were doing the math. Like, okay, Abreu was close to like 17, 18 million. So 17 minus 12. So you still have plus 5 million there. Do you have like $10 million to spend total?
I think that a lot of people, including myself and people that are trying to estimate what this budget's going to be this year, drastically underestimated what the market's going to look like this offseason. And I think
Yeah.
seeing Jose Abreu get 3 years, 60 million, and Clevenger getting 12 million, and all that, like, whether you like it or not, if you want to have some chance at these guys, you're going to spend now.
Like Michael Conforto, Kevin, his came up with the Cubs over the weekend, and now there's a whole bunch of interest in him, and like he's gonna get like a multi-year like an opt-out like after year one, but he's gonna get some dough after not playing last year.
Right.
And then Mitch just said it, like Cody Bellinger, he got non-tendered by the Dodgers because he was gonna make a shit ton in arbitration.
Yeah.
And like he's probably gonna get like a 1-1 where he's gonna get probably like north of like 13, 14, at least that much money per year. Like these guys aren't going to be. These aren't we'll give you 1 year, $10 million Jock Peterson contract. Like these guys are going to be making some serious money.
Yeah, Jock took a hometown discount. Jock he's too lazy. He's like, I'm just want to stay here. Just pay me whatever. I'm just fucking staying here.
Well, I think that is why, because like you heard Rick Hahn even during the press conference, he was like, we're probably going to be going through trades. It's going to be like, Dad, what do we do? Or we're going to go through. I would not be surprised. Hell, if I had to bet money, I think a core player gets traded. Whether it be Giolito or even Robert, like everyone thinks that was crazy. I wouldn't be shocked if he got traded. Like I think if they want
Well, let's play that game then, Mitch.
one of the core guys.
Well, let's play that game, because what Mitch is referring to is that account that everybody loves, that MLB executive burner
I'm not
Twitter
even
account.
saying that's accurate
Everyone.
or not,
But-
but I do think like if they're going to trade someone, like because they don't have anyone of value in the farm system, so if they want to make an actual upgrade, and we talked about like they don't have the money to spend to get an actual impact free agent. So if they actually want to capitalize in the window, they're gonna have to trade one of those core guys, like a Robert or an Anderson or something like, or a
Right. Well,
I've
let's
heard
play-
Gio.
scenarios, though.
I've heard a lot of people throwing out Gio to trade.
Right.
I think a lot of people feel that he's like the most likely to go because of the contract year and all that stuff. But
Yep.
Okay,
Here's the scenarios, though. What if you got Luis Robert down to Miami? You get your boy Jazz, you get Pablo Lopez, and then you get
and-
another outfielder from them.
I'm listening.
I don't know how good their other outfielders are, but I know they have a few young guys
Let's take a look at the old prospect machine.
But you automatically shore up your second base spot. You get another good, high floor, still high upside starting pitcher in Pablo Lopez, and then you get like a young outfielder.
They got a kid named Jacob Berry 55 grade overall. He's listed as a third baseman, outfielder, but he's only in single A, dude. Fuck off.
No. Look at their
Got some
MLB
time.
roster. Look at their MLB roster.
All right, let's.
I think
go
they
to
have a guy like named
Marlins.
Sanchez, maybe.
For Miami Marlins roster.
Like it could be like I still think that'd be crazy trading Luis Robert, but he, like Mitch said, he is the one guy who still has a lot
the
of
other.
value.
This is the other name that came. Brian De La Cruz.
De La Cruz. Hey.
Yeah, Avi, we can bring Garcia back.
Yeah, Rebecca.
Didn't they give Jorge Soler like stupid ass money?
It was like 3 for 36 or something like that.
I could see them trying to dump that in a trade. Jesus Sanchez.
That guy.
He was pretty good.
What if he had that?
So the one that I saw floating around was Jazz, De La Cruz, and Pablo.
Yeah.
I'd pick up the phone.
That's worth a discussion.
Mhm.
I think it is. I mean,
I don't know a lot about the De La Cruz kid, but
let's
I
take
mean-
let's take a deeper dive.
Jazz Chisholm and Pablo Lopez, that's a solid 1-2 to start the conversation.
De La Cruz had 329 at bats this year, hit 13 home runs, slashed 252, 294, 726.
Oh, that is a low on base.
Yeah,
Yeah, but how
294
many
OBP. It doesn't say. It says 329 at bats on this.
Yeah, that's good enough.
Here we go. Games. Oh, 20. He played 115 games.
All right.
Struck out 90 times to 19 walks.
Sounds like a White Sox already.
Not
Yeah, I
great,
mean-
not great. All right.
Yeah, his OPS was 726.
Could be worse.
So 13 homers. Okay. 4 stolen bases. Got
Speed.
yeah,
Indeed.
Chills.
yeah.
I mean, just get Daryl Boston working with him and get up to 5.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, Matty, what Gio and Sheets get you back, bud.
I'm down for it though. You get
Yeah, I'm good with it. Or
worry about Sheets in the outfield.
Liam and Sheets is fine too. I'm fully okay with Sheets being like the and guy. You know what I mean? Like Liam and
That team really has to believe that Sheets is going to be still good.
Yeah, I mean, there's team.
Power is a hot commodity.
It is, and he's got pop in that bat. I mean,
Is there any scenario, guys, where like we know White Sox historically aren't going to be spending big in free agency? Rick Hahn's already said publicly we're probably going to be, if any big changes are done, it's going to be through trades. He's already hinted at Oscar Colas being the right fielder,
Mhm.
so they're not going to be spending money there either. What if it's like, first couple weeks of spring training, as much as you'd want to do a trade, teams don't have to do a trade with you.
Nope.
They're kind of just stuck in a position where like, all right, Eloy, you're back and left.
Oh shit.
That would
'Cause
be
they-
that's the correct
they
response.
Kind of
Oh shit!
DEFCON 5 right there. That's
It could happen though. I mean, that's not a.
That's what I'm saying. If you're not committed in free agency to spend, you can't guarantee yourself that like a team's just going to agree to a trade with you.
Yep.
So
That would suck. That would be. I mean, that
I
would
know
suck.
would be surprised if that was the case. And then what would happen. He'd be like, well, Eloy's really been working on his defense. we see some upside there,
Daryl's been working with him 24/7.
We had the phone goes out in the backfield, and
Mhm.
Eloy's really improved his defense.
Like I want to believe, but like obviously the easiest route is always spending the money, because flash the money in front of the player. And like obviously, there's a lot of more factors that can like, does the player want to be there? Does he love the city? Whatever it is. But if you do flash the money, that's a good incentive for those guys. Trade talks, you can have great rapport with GMs. They can
Mhm.
like some of your players. Kevin, you can have a trade done, and the owner's like no, or the
Yeah,
manager's
watch
like
it.
no.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
Ja.
Oh.
Ja. That would be.
Get Michael
Joff,
Conforto,
dude.
guys. Just pony up.
And well, that's what's so frustrating about it. And this is not an original take either. Like, well, the White Sox would have been saying this for a while, but like, this is your contention window. Like, we suffered through a rebuild for this, and they don't even want to spend the money. Like, now it is time to spend the money, and they're not doing because it's been so horribly spent on a bunch of scrubs. And now you have, well, you know, we got like $5 million, maybe we can spend here, and maybe we can swing a trade. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, you invested in all these guys for the rebuild. Spend the damn money.
Well,
You
it's
got
already,
Mike Clevenger, Mitch. Be happy.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have had Carlos Rodon for like 18 million last year,
Mhm.
but
Yep.
injury.
Yep.
concern.
No, my
Happening too, they'll win like 80 games, be mediocre again, but he'll have like a really good year. Like Katz will work with him and have a monster year, and then he'll fuck off in free agency.
Yeah.
Too.
Goes back to Cleveland. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, again, my Clevenger reaction is just kind of, yay. Like, I think it's. I don't think it's a bad signing.
no, definitely not.
But it feels like one of their own, like their headliner of the offseason. If he's like the third guy in a free agency class, yeah.
But yeah, I'm very nervous that it's gonna end there. They gotta sign one of those outfielders.
It's somebody they have
They
to.
gotta
They
sign
have
one of those
to. They
outfielders. I
have
mean,
to.
even if you're just stupid about second base, you have to at least bare minimum, you have to go and sign one of the outfielders we've mentioned.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with them overpaying a Joey Gallo like that. Would it be my no? But like better than what we got right now.
Them signing Gallo will get absolutely destroyed. It would be a chaotic day.
Well, do you know what would come up? Even though he was fine before he came to the White Sox, Adam Dunn.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I mean that'd be 2.0.
Yep. Or like
I think
what
with Gallo though, it's like the perfect market for him, like the second city in you know in town, or the second team in town, so he doesn't have to worry about like all that pressure like he had in New York. It's a like the ballpark is built for left-handed pop. He's a good defender. Like I see a lot of upside there, and he'd probably be cheap. Right?
And
he just has to deactivate his Twitter account if he still has one.
well, that and the other, but the big difference though between a Joey Gallo and a Dunn is Gallo's a Gold Glove outfielder.
Yeah, I was gonna say he does at least have great defensive skills. That you
Yeah,
have.
I mean he's not just a big old corn-fed country boy that hits the ball, a million miles that can't play D. I mean, Gallo, and that's the same thing with Bellinger. Bellinger. I understand everybody focused on the hitting. Bellinger's still a very good defensive outfielder.
Well, I wanted to ask Kevin for the Cubs.
Mhm.
So they need a center fielder.
Mhm.
So there's Gallo, there's Bellinger, the Conforto kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, they could do a trade for like the Laureano guy from the A's. Maybe one of I know you like Varsho from the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks have like 5 outfielders
Yeah,
right
4 or
now.
5.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Any one of
McCarthy, Alec Thomas, all
Alec
those guys.
Thomas.
Yeah.
There's Kevin Kiermaier from the Rays, kind of hip injury. I don't like that. Rodmil Tapia. Like the options aren't that great when you start
No.
going down the list. Kevin, who do you want being the Cubs center fielder in 2023?
I think my first preference is probably Bellinger, then Gallo. I just don't know about Conforto. I have no idea what's going on with him. So I
Nope.
mean, you don't know what kept him out last year. It doesn't, or at least I don't know what kept him out last year at least. But
Well, it was he had like a shoulder surgery.
Right.
So like those two right there are the top because they're also left-handed bats. Very good defensive players. Actually, kind of versatile too. Both can fill in if needed at first base too. I know right now we've got Matt Mervis to worry about and his first campaign as a major leaguer. But if he stumbles and then he needs to go back down like Ian Happ did, all I'm hearing right now, by the way, is Wervis at first base, which is Mervis and Wisdom at first base. And if Patrick Wisdom plays more than 40 games this year, the Cubs obviously aren't trying to win. So I like that their versatility, but I like that you got to have some good defense in center and consistent defensive center. And I think you can bury those guys deep in the lineup. And if you get more from them than you expect, but you're still getting consistent, defense and center, they're not going to be as bad as Jason Hayward. I refuse to believe that either one of those are going to be that bad. I think that Bellinger probably has the most potential to break out, but I think that both of those guys are, especially with the shift kind of, at least somewhat shifting or, fading away a little bit. Those two guys are going to probably have a higher BABIP this year than they've had in years past. So I think that helps. If I had to choose, that's 1, 2, and then everything else is, obviously the Varsho would be my huge yet, but any one of those, like you said, those Diamondback outfielders, it's like a carousel of quality there. And if they can get something for not a ton, not too bad. And, really everyone's just kind of treading water till Pete Crow Armstrong is ready to go, but he's still got another year at least minimum.
I'm thinking the White Sox should go shopping in Arizona for one of these outfielders.
Hey, you guys should, yeah.
Bring Alec Thomas back to the South Side. It's his home, Mount Carmel grad.
I feel like bringing back guys to Chicago doesn't always work out.
Most times it doesn't.
Didn't they just sign that local kid, that Mark Payton or whatever?
St. Rita, baby. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
There's your outfielder signing.
And then I wanted to ask Mitch, and I think Mitch, you wrote about it. Does Wilson Contreras fit on the Sox?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, fucking Billy Ripken. For those that don't know what we're talking about, Billy Ripken was on one of the MLB Network shows, and they were talking about dark horse free agent signings, and it is a dark horse, I guess.
Yeah, hey, it fit in with the segment.
Yeah, Billy said that he'd like to see Wilson Contreras sign with the White Sox.
I love it.
Would not hate it.
It'd be like the biggest signing in free agent history.
We know where he's going, though, don't we?
He's going to Houston.
Astros.
Yeah.
Oh,
The dream of having Wilson Contreras play with Jose Abreu that some Cub fans have had is going to happen possibly.
Which is weird
Yeah,
because
it's not in Chicago.
because the Astros are I forget. I can't get the source. Is it Dusty Baker who blocked it or the owner who blocked the trade?
Owner.
The owner. So
The owner
but now he wants him.
Well, because now it's not a trade.
Well, that's true. That's true.
He didn't want to give
They would
up.
still have to give up a draft pick and some money. But yeah, but the weird thing with Houston is they're saying we'll use him in the outfield.
Yep.
Like
I don't know.
split time with him with Alvarez.
I
Well, first
would
of all-
not be surprised if he split time catching, just because if you look at that lineup, the big weak link offensively was from the catcher's platform.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you
people forget that he was an infielder before he was a catcher. Like it's not this one's not a stretch for him. He was when he was drafted. I mean, he came out. I mean, he was developed as a catcher, but the dude can. He played first, catcher, second base, third base, left field, right field. His entire minor league career, he was all over the place. So this isn't something new to him. And I think that probably behind the dish, maybe 30, 40 games, and then him just being able to fill in little spots around the diamond. I don't see him playing the infield by any means. But
And then left field also in Houston. It's not that hard.
It's not
I know
that
they have
bad.
the
It's
high
not
wall,
huge
but it's a
space.
short left field.
yeah, you don't have to patrol much at all.
as much as I love Seb, though, you have Wilson as your backup catcher.
Oh.
Maybe starter depending how poorly Grandal plays. That's a pretty good 1-2 tandem. If Grandal gets half a bounce back season and you got Wilson there too, boy, people like James McCann on the White Sox. If he's better versus that.
Jesus.
Well, I was gonna say the people who fell in love with James McCann are be pissed off when Wilson Contreras has trouble framing strikes. And they're what the fuck?
But those bat flips are going to look so much cooler with the white.
The
pin.
Sox with the
Well, I always thought they were kind of douchey on the north side of town. But
Oh, hey.
Funny how that happens, huh?
And then for the Cubs, apparently they're talking to Christian Vasquez, who was traded to the Astros from the Red Sox,
Mhm.
and the guy that I think they're gonna sign, Narvaez, Sox legend. The Brewers.
Why?
very solid catcher.
It's so quiet right now. It's
Oh, dude,
just
there's
so quiet.
nothing, man. There's nothing.
Like they're. I mean, the Cubs especially came out hot and heavy with rumors with Senga, with Rodon, with
Abreu.
yeah, with obviously with Correa, that John Morosi's been beating that drum over and over again, and it's like all of a sudden reality hits and it's silent. It's just silent. There's nobody linked with the Cubs at all now at this point.
Well, that's not true.
Other than,
but,
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, nobody like doesn't feel like there's a big name right now that's being like, it's gonna happen. Like everything right now has just gone quiet, which could be a good thing. This could be Jed working in the shadows and doing his little thing,
like that's
or
what
it could
sucks
be
though.
lowballing everybody again.
Like look at MLB. Like what moves have there been? The Astros. They're the ones who've done the biggest signing. Jose Abreu, $60 million. Rizzo went back to the Yankees. He had the qualifying offer, so he had to decide. Tyler Anderson signed the deal with the Angels. He had the qualifying offer. Martin Perez had the qualifying offer. He came back to the Rangers. Like no other big free agents. There hasn't been anything.
And
The thing is, but it's funny that you just mentioned a bunch of winning franchises right now.
The
Like
Angels
franchises that
the
are only
Rangers.
adding Rangers not, but that are adding pieces. The Cubs have so much work to do that it feels like they're just sitting back on their heels. And again, this intelligent spending stuff is just dumb to me. And they're not. They kind of had to come out a little bit aggressive because guys like Correa, Carlos Correa, and Turner, and probably Bogarts too. They've said pretty publicly they want to play for a winner now. So if you have designs on signing them, you can't say, "Hey, sign with us. I promise we'll keep our word and get more players," because there's no guarantee in that. Their reputation is already shit with some of these guys, especially with Boris clients, because they've been screwed over enough with two talk, double speak. So they got. I thought that the Cubs, of all the franchises that are trying to get back in it, they had to come out faster than everybody else, and they've kind of sat back. I was hoping for something more aggressive, but here we go.
Abreu, they saw how high the price was, so they probably backed out.
Yeah, there's no way. Hey,
in the end, he talks like as much as these guys say they want to play for a winner. If the Cubs have the best offer, and it's by far, he's going to go to Chicago. Like, all right,
but he's not going to get the years.
Right? No,
Jed's not going over 5. So there goes the Twins now, who are closer to winning than the Cubs.
But that's
Boom.
the thing. There's like 25 other teams. So like, they're not doing anything either.
Guys, it's only the Cubs.
This is
only
like,
the Cubs.
And like they're racing at a super speedway in NASCAR. You know there's going to be that big crash. It's the titillation of the big one that you're waiting for. It's like the same thing with free agents.
I need. It's going to happen next week. What day are the winter meetings starting? Like Tuesday or is it Monday?
Tuesday, Monday. Hold on, let's see.
So whoever it is, I need like Dom Dombrowski from the Phillies to get drunk, at night. Need him to call Boris and get things rolling here.
The winter meetings are December 4th through 7th.
So that'd be Sunday through Wednesday, right?
In San
so
Diego.
like Sunday night, Monday morning, and at the hotel.
First time they've been in person in over 2 years too. So
yeah, since 2019.
Get the boys wheeling and dealing. I've been quiet for like the last 10 minutes. Mainly because I'm just sitting here in awe. Why do the Diamondbacks have so many outfielders?
That's what. I mean, I really wish in our contest I'd have just put Arizona outfielder as the trade, because it could be any one of like.
Well, I mean,
list them off. List them off.
So they have the top prospect in Corbin Carroll.
Yeah.
He ain't going anywhere.
They got Kyle Lewis.
That's right. They traded for him.
Yeah, they traded for that. This is where it's blowing my. Why would you trade for Kyle Lewis?
Wait, what was that trade again?
You have Jake McCarthy, Alec Thomas, Dalton Varisho. This Pavin Smith guy's not bad at all. He's a little older, but Dominic Fletcher, Jorge Barbosa, who apparently was born the year I graduated high school. Like, what the fuck is going on here, dude? Like,
they had David Peralta, who they traded.
Right, but why would you trade for Kyle? They have so many good. Like, I would take almost any of those guys that I just named on the White Sox.
Well, I think they're going to trade. I think they're going to trade one of the other guys.
What do they need?
Pitching.
That
infielders.
Who's their closer?
But an outfielder.
Who is their closer?
I mean, Zach Gallen's their best pitcher.
Yeah. Oh, and then fucking Zach Gallen with the eyeball emojis today.
Melancholy?
Bullpen.
I don't know how to say that one.
Yeah, Mark Melanson.
Mark Melanson.
Yeah, but
his real name is
Mark is my age, dude.
Maranta?
Do you guys want a Liam Hendricks? Let's go.
What do they need Liam Hendricks for, though? They're not contending.
I mean, they're not terrible.
not gonna be
They got a lot
building.
of outfielders. They're going to win the outfielders war.
Wait, Dalton Varsho's a catcher too?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's why that dude is
versatile.
such a great value.
Yeah.
Because
I didn't
Zoe,
know-
not
I
only
didn't know.
he's
I didn't realize he's their backup catcher.
he's a
He's pretty much
solid
the
hitter, he's a great defensive center fielder, and he's a pretty damn good catcher too.
See, welcome to like that covet zone, Zoe, because this is why
Yeah, this
Like,
is why Kevin circled him. It's like, yeah, we'll
eggplant
give you Nick
emoji
Madrigal.
constantly with him.
But I mean, Jake McCarthy was pretty good for him. They got Corbin Carroll coming up.
Yeah. No, I don't know why they did that. Who was in that Kyle Lewis trade? Who did they trade
Hold
away?
on, let's look that up.
Because I do remember saying that. Because like the big talk was like, yeah, they already have all these outfielders. They just traded for another one, specifically a right-handed hitting outfielder.
The D-backs added right-handed hitter to their outfield mix Thursday, acquiring former Rookie of the Year Kyle Lewis from the Mariners in exchange for outfielder/catcher Cooper Hummel.
Oh, all right. So there you go. I mean, Kevin, they're going the other way, just all outfielders.
Yep,
Why do
they're
they have
gonna-
so many? Why do
new
they have
shift,
so many
new shift,
outfielders
no
slash
infielders,
catchers?
just outfielders. Just go.
They're gonna play a 5-man outfield,
I mean,
Is that legal now? I don't know. Is that legal?
right?
Cooper-
Yeah. What are the rules on that?
Cooper Hummel played 66 games in the major leagues last year and batted 176, but apparently that gets you Kyle Lewis, and the White Sox couldn't make that happen.
Well, I mean, Kyle Lewis, kind of bad now.
Hey,
Hey.
and he's a health guy. I mean, he won Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. He beat Luis Robert for
Luis
it.
Robert. Well, you want to trade Luis Robert to Miami for De La Cruz?
I didn't say I wanted to. I said I'd listen.
You said you get on the exactly.
I listen,
You would
I-
never admit that. a
and
year
not
ago.
for De La Cruz.
Jesus
Don't,
Sanchez?
that's a bad way to spin that. Luis Robert for De La Cruz.
All right,
Now,
Zoe.
there's two other guys in that deal.
Offers on the table. Offers on the table.
Aldo brings up the
Robert,
player to be named
Jazz
later.
Chisholm,
Yeah,
Pablo Lopez, and Jesus Sanchez. Yes or no?
for Luis
Luis
Robert?
Robert.
No, probably not.
I
I
think
mean,
that's a good
like I said, it warrants a conversation.
about Eloy.
No,
Yes.
they're not trading Eloy.
I think so.
Guy that they will not trade on.
I'd make
They-
that
they-
trade.
if they were going to trade
So
Eloy,
it's like,
they
I'm
would have kept Abreu probably. But
I'm driving Eloy and his mom to the airport.
if Eloy got me Pablo, Jazz, and De La Cruz,
Oh.
I'd
you'd be his Uber. You'd go down and pick
Yeah.
him up.
I'd
road
drive
trip.
them all. I'd drive them all the way.
Like, all right.
I bet you we'd have a good ass time.
Saddle up,
had
partner.
Jose Abreu back, but nope.
Go pick him up in the Mutts Cut van.
But Eloy's the only guy that hits for power on that route, like in the outfield, right?
Right, but if he
He's
can give me a bona fide starting pitcher and an all-star second baseman, I'm trading Eloy.
Coming off a series.
He's only an
injury.
all-star though because the Mariners or Marlins are trash, and they need to have one all-star for every team.
They have the fucking Cy Young Award winner on their team.
With semantics,
Don't ruin Mitch's point. So enough of that.
The Marlins were better than people thought. I think.
no, they are. They're close, I guess.
Especially when they get Mike Judge. No, just kidding. Not gonna happen.
Well, they can get Mike
Who
Judge.
are they gonna
it'd
get?
still
They're
be
gonna get
trash.
Mike Judge. They're gonna make Beavis and Butthead again.
God, I cannot stop doing that.
Yeah, boy.
I
you
can't
gotta,
stop.
Wait to hypnonize you, Kevin.
It won't. It won't. It's
Aaron
it's like
Judge.
calling mushrooms marshmallows and marshmallows mushrooms. I will
Yeah.
never be able to break that
Just
habit. I have no idea.
Put your head down and run into a wall or something. Knock something loose. Man.
Cross wires.
I mean,
I don't know.
Wait to Clockwork Orange you with like just Aaron Judge's name.
yeah.
There you go.
It's Aaron Judge and who else? There's another one too. There's a football player, and I keep calling him something else too. It's bad. I don't know. Crack kills.
Nope. I don't know. But
Oh wait. Say it again.
I am. What? Say Mike Judge again?
Yeah.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, just
A warning to not get there.
Bears.
All right. Well, I'm excited for the winter meetings coming up. I don't know if it's stupid optimism, but I really think something of substance, whether it be Chicago related or not, is going to come out of it.
Speaking to that, I'm not as annoyed as other Cubs fans are right now. But if next week ends and the Cubs just haven't signed someone, I will be what the fuck?
That's
I'm not.
fair.
I'm not to that point yet.
Danny.
He's back with the Mets, isn't he?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just throwing that up there because it's on a bubble.
Danny fucking Burgers.
There he is.
Burgers. Jake Burgers liked my tweet about the show Wednesday on
I would say
Netflix.
Burger for second base.
Yeah. Jake Burger cannot. No. You put your head down and run into a wall now. Jake Burger is not a second baseman. I will entertain the idea of Jake playing third and putting Yo back at second.
If the White Sox do
You're
that,
not
you
gonna
guys
have
are.
any faith in your good Twitter friend Jake Berger.
Yeah. What the hell?
No, I
is
want him at third. I got faith at him at third, but
He
I
would
think he'll tell
not
you.
like that comment, Zoe.
Yeah.
Not that one.
All right, Jake, I got you.
That's
He would just
fine.
scroll on with that comment.
I think Jake is also very self-aware that he's got 2 blown tires, and the mobility he would need with a no-shift second baseman isn't there.
What would you rather have happen, though? It's opening day down in Houston.
I hate it when you do this because I know what
It's
you're
gonna. Oh, it's gonna be terrible. No, I'm only
It's
saying it
rough.
because you brought it up,
Yeah.
and I know that you
It's
brought it
rough.
up as a joke. But I'm gonna follow up the joke with. Well, actually, no. There's no way this is gonna happen. Like, there's no way.
I don't
There's
know.
no way. There's no way, guys. Would you rather have Yoan Moncada is your opening day second baseman and Jake Burger is at third?
Uh-huh.
Scenario 2. Yoan Moncada stays at third base. Eloy's in left field because Larry Garcia is your starting second baseman.
I'd rather have Yo at second and Burger at third. That's
Alright,
an easy one to me.
If
I
the
don't
Sox
want
do
Larry-
that, if the Sox
don't
do
want
that,
Larry
you guys are
Garcia-
destined for
if-
79 wins.
If it's game 1 of the season and it's bad enough that we're playing in Houston and I have to see Jose Abreu in the fucking Astros uniform and Larry Garcia is the starting second baseman, we're not starting out on the right foot.
Well,
you
see,
know,
that was a trick question because Larry Garcia is
we
starting in
might as
left
well
field.
do so. What are we just
Probably.
gonna sit on the bench? Gotta get our money's.
Probably. And I can't wait to make all the money betting on Jose Abreu hitting a home run.
Side
That's
note,
insane.
Aldo, do you think the Cubs are going to get like Sanga or Rodon or any of those? Aren't those frontline
They're not
arms?
getting Rodon. I still
No, they're definitely not getting Rodon.
They're not getting Rodon. The Giants, I think, are gonna like overpay, and like that's not a bad thing for Senga. I think they're gonna pivot to like one of the
Pivot.
Mets guys. Maybe Taiwan
Rodon.
Walker.
Yeah,
No,
I've-
not DeGrom. Not the
Not
Mets guy.
that pivot. That's a little too far of a pivot. That's more of a
Actually,
a
if I
360.
out of all the guys, like comparing Carlos Rodon, like if you would say what's more likely, Cubs sign Carlos Rodon or Jacob DeGrom, I think it's DeGrom because I don't think they have any issues like a 3-year deal.
Could you imagine? Oh, don't imagine because then it makes me sad again.
Oh no, no, Kevin, I can tell you this second. If the Cubs sign Jacob DeGrom, like half the fans are gonna be pissed off. They're gonna be like, "This guy's injury prone. Why'd we sign him $40 million for a guy who's gonna start 12 times?"
damn it, fans suck.
That's
That's gonna be like the first like 25 comments
I
under the
know.
Cubs tweet of official signing of
We
Jacob
had
DeGrom.
so many prospects. We don't need DeGrom. We got prospects.
It's like this guy only started 12 times last year.
I don't think
I feel like
Rodon.
Cubs fans talk like that, by the way.
I don't
That's
think
what-
I don't think Rodon leaves New York. He's supposedly in New York right now, meeting with the Mets.
No. Wasn't he in a
Great.
Zoom meeting?
Oh yeah, he won't actually go to New York. I'm sorry, but
He's not even gonna get on a plane and go back there. He's like,
I
I'm out.
think the Mets or the Yankees are going to end up with Rodon.
Hmm.
I think I said it last offseason. It just seems like it's the Yankees move.
hmm
And then he gets, well, no, I won't say it, but yeah, no, I think that's the Yankees move. Either the Yankees or the Rangers. Because the Rangers, they showed that they're not.
That's
scared
who I
of
have on
spending money.
on our spreadsheet, which I'm 2 for 2 on.
No, you're 2 for 4.
Who do I miss?
500 though.
Fact check.
Tyler Anderson went to the Angels.
Oh, I don't even fuck that guy.
Excuse me? He's about to be on our show, you dick.
Our
gotta
rankings
tell
are Mitch in
God
first
dang.
place with 18 points. Zoe second place with 17. I'm in third with 15. And Kevin in fourth with 12 points.
I need some signings to happen. This is another reason why I need this shit to start. Come on. I'm hanging out in the basement a little bit.
I think it's time.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's NASCAR Minute with NASCAR Mitch.
All right. This week, since as you know, silly season's over, the season's over, I got some trivia for you guys. Now, the winner of this trivia, we'll go 5 questions. We won't take up too much of your time. For the winner of the trivia, I will place a free $5 bet on Cody Ware to win the Daytona 500. Now, Cody Ware had 1,000 to 1 odds last season to win the Daytona 500, but the super speedways, anything's possible. He had a top 5 in the last race of the season, so you'll get, you have a chance to win a lot of money for no risk if you can win this NASCAR trivia. All right, here we go. We'll give you multiple choice to make it
Thank
easy.
God.
Question 1. What is the official fuel of NASCAR? Is it A, Shell, B, Pennzoil, C, Sunoco, or D, Mobil?
B.
We'll have you go first.
Oh,
Yeah, are we buzzing in or how's this working?
Yeah.
I'll guess and I'll do a point system.
All right, I'm going B, Pennzoil.
you
All right.
son of a bitch. You almost said-
You can all guess the same one. I mean,
Yeah, I say Pennzoil too. Yeah, I figured
Yeah,
that's
B. Pennzoil.
That is incorrect. It is Sunoco. Is the
Got you guys.
should have gone with Sudoku. God, I hate those puzzles.
I had
Pennzoil
no
does-
idea.
but that is,
Fucking
yeah.
word games.
All right.
All right. Question 2. Although I'll have you guess first, we'll go on a rotation on this one. Which of the following is not a make of a car that races in the NASCAR Cup Series? A, Ford, B, Chevrolet, C, Toyota, D, Dodge.
D. Dodge.
All right. Kev.
Toyota.
So
Ford.
the correct answer is Dodge. So
Damn.
does not race in the Cup Series. So although you get the point there. All right. Question number 3. Kev, you'll get the first guess on this one. Who was the 2020 NASCAR Cup Series champion? Is it A, Chase Elliott, B, Joey Logano, C, Kyle Busch, or D, Martin Truex Jr.?
It was Bush, wasn't it? I'm gonna go with Bush.
Busch, all right.
I'm going Bush.
Busch.
Martin Truex Jr.
All good guesses, but the correct answer was the villain of the show, Chase Elliott, was the
Damn it.
2020 champion, unfortunately. Let's see. All right.
This is going great. Keep
Dude, we're
going.
like the, we're like
Our,
the,
our
we're-
IQ is just
All right. Here's a sciencey kind of one for you. Which of the following are the 3 P's of speed? A, drag, donuts, downforce. B, downforce, drafting, driver. C, donuts, driver, downforce. Or D, drag, downforce, drafting. I can repeat them if you want.
The last one.
All right, you going to the last one? Oh, yep.
I'll go D as well.
All right.
what was the second one again?
Downforce, drafting, driver.
There. Go with B.
Going with B. Correct answer was D. So
Damn
no,
it.
Sir,
not
yes,
that.
Go against the
sir.
grain.
We
I'm
have
so
a
smart.
tie here. All right.
So Aldo's got 2. Zoe's got 2, right? Or Zoe's got 1.
I think I
He's
got
got
one.
got one.
Aldo 2, 1, and then this is like our fucking spreadsheet. God damn it.
All right. We'll go last one. We'll make this the tiebreaker. Unless you both miss it and Kev gets it, then we'll have another sudden death, I guess. Racetrack banking helps a race car driver to A, go in reverse, B, pit, C, turn, D, stop. What does the banking on a racetrack do?
Repeat the choices again.
A, go in reverse, B, pit, C, turn, D, stop.
All of your first.
I'll go B. Pit.
Pit, all right.
Banking.
No, what is the banking?
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant turn.
All
Sorry.
right.
You bank left.
So I think it's Pitt, but I gotta beat Aldo or tie Aldo, so I'm gonna go in reverse.
The correct answer was turn, so we got to go to another.
There you go, Kevin.
Yes, everyone is tied at 1. All right, let's
Coming
see.
for you, Quaid. Phew, I don't be that guy in Jeopardy that like leaves with like negative money and doesn't even get to go to like the final round.
All right, here we go. When
Just keep
cars
that guy
run
on.
behind each other during a race to take advantage of the resulting change in air pressure, it's called A, drag, B, downforce, C, drafting, D, donuts. And I can repeat the question if you want.
Please, I was trying to rub his hair virtually.
When cars line up behind each other during the race to take advantage of the resulting change in air pressure, it's called A, drag, B, downforce, C, drafting, D, donuts for all the marbles.
Who's first? Is it me?
Yeah.
Evan, yeah.
I think it's
Drafting.
Aldo on this one.
Nope, it's Kevin. It's drafting.
It's drafting.
Everyone's going drafting. Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, all right. That was a little bit too easy here. Go one more. All right. That one's
You can ask who the.
Speaking
who-
of drafting, it's getting Drafty Pod. Just joined the chat
There you
finally while
There
trying
you
to.
go.
I was gonna say, Mitch. I think you can ask who won the cup this year, and we still wouldn't know.
And don't give us multiple choice.
Okay, I'll give you that one. You should know this one. Who won? Yeah, you know what? That'll be a good one.
Oh wait, no. I think I do know. Do Fuck.
you?
All right.
No,
Uh,
Go so,
Correct.
go so, because I'm ahead. I'm leading. I get
I'm
to-
going Joey Logano.
Yeah, Joey Logano. I think
Joey
it's Joey
Logano,
Logano.
our guy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll go. What year was the
Here he
NASCAR
is.
That is the only reason.
That's the only reason I knew that too.
I got to go third
All
on
right.
that.
What year was NASCAR founded? Is it A, 1952, B, 1947, C, 1950, D, 1964? What year was the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing founded? I can repeat it one more time, too.
No, go Aldo. Just guess a year, dude.
C, 1950.
All right.
Whatever the earliest one was.
That'd be 1947.
There we
I
go.
was gonna say 1947.
Is that what you're going with?
Yeah.
Is Aldo going to win?
That is the correct answer. Is 1947.
Oh,
Now-
now we're all
Two.
tied.
Well, we all have two.
Now we're all tied.
There's one more on this sheet, but it's pretty easy. I would hope.
It's a tiebreaker. This is a good finish.
I'll give it to you guys. I guess between you two, I guess the tiebreaker.
No, it's all three of
All
us.
three of us have two.
Oh no, that's two.
Yeah,
Oh,
now we all. Yeah,
all
now
right,
we all.
my
have-
bad. My bad. All right.
They're 3 wide down the stretch.
This is. We'll go
We're
to.
rubbing.
Here's my first tiebreaker. No multiple choice on this one. You just
Oh,
got to name the guy.
So
Who
far.
I got to go first.
made the number 3 car famous? Who was the driver of the famous
Dale
number?
Earnhardt.
Got one for Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah,
I should get it. I'm the one who answered first.
It is Dale Earnhardt.
It is
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt. Okay, what number car
8.
did his son drive first?
Budweiser 8.
Budweiser 8. Jesus.
Yeah, Budweiser
Aldo.
8.
All right. After he drove the 8, he switched cars to a different number.
Mountain Dew.
No, not Mountain Dew. But what number was the car? He did drive the Mountain Dew car.
88.
Yeah, I think we're gonna give this to Aldo. He's
You have something pulled up? I guess
I watched NASCAR like in middle school.
Yeah.
These are my prime.
Get
days
off
already
that. Get
watching.
off that era of NASCAR, dude.
all right. Fair enough. All right, we'll pull up the last. Let's see.
Was it not Mountain Dew? Damn.
There was Mountain Dew. He just had a different car number, right?
What stadium did they have the first race of the season in? Not Daytona. They called it the Clash. They have the Clash every year. It was in a famous stadium for the first time NASCAR has ever raced in a stadium like this before. Can you name that stadium?
Volunteer Stadium where the Tennessee football team plays.
We'll go with that with your guess.
That's my guess.
The Orange Bowl.
The Orange Bowl, okay.
The Clash.
Yeah.
So it's like Soldiers Fields.
Vegas Motor Speedway.
No, it was actually in the Coliseum. Clash the Coliseum.
Oh, Kevin was so
Very
close.
cool. Pitbull had a concert there. Ice Cube.
I was so hoping it was Vegas just to be.
All right,
but
Who won? I'll do multiple choice for this one as well. Who won the Daytona 500 this year? Was it A, Denny Hamlin, B, Chase Elliott, C, Joey Logano, or D, Austin Cindric? Well, fuck, Austin Cindric. D, Joey Logano,
I can't tell if that means it was him. Or
yeah,
it's
that's
not
like
him.
good. I had no idea. I had no
Chase
idea.
Elliott. A. There you go.
So what were the choices?
All right. A, Denny Hamlin. B, Chase Elliott. C, Joey Logano. or D, Austin Cindric?
I'll go A. Hamlin, Harry Hamlin.
I'll go,
Denny.
I'll go
whatever.
D because I'm still not sure if you think
Yeah,
you fucked up or
D.
not. I'm gonna go D.
It was D. I fucked that up.
All right, later, Fitz. All right,
We're down to 2.
Fitz is
All right,
out.
Hell yeah.
all right.
Why didn't we use that? God dang it.
What pop star is the co-owner of Trackhouse Racing? You
don't
should know because I've
this.
said it multiple times in the show.
Yeah,
Oh,
totally.
Pitbull.
And guys, it's not.
If it's Pitbull, then Aldo
It's
wins.
not this pop
It
star.
is, well, yeah, it is Pitbull.
Aldo wins.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Aldo wins because
Congratulations.
I had
Based
no
out of
idea.
Florida.
That went much better than I said.
This is pretty much how this went.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So that was NASCAR minute.
Play him out. Play him out.
Mitch.
Though. Play him out.
I'm pretty sure you did not anticipate us going that many questions deep.
I did not. No, I had like 7 questions. I didn't even think we need the full 7, but yeah.
I'm
Can I
proud
full
of us.
disclosure? I think we kind of shorted Aldo. I think he was up 2 to 1 to 1 at one point, and I think you thought he had
might have
1.
been.
And we just kept going with it, and I'm like, man.
I think we got. I think we evened it out though. For
Yeah,
both of you got one question right. to
My
get to.
biggest takeaway from this was don't fuck with Aldo about the Earnhardt family.
Earnhardt,
trivia.
yeah,
no.
really Earnhardt.
He's got it.
And you even got the bonus questions right. And although as a reward, you get a free bet on Cody Ware to win the Daytona 500 next year.
Fuck yeah.
Probably won't, but if he does, you're gonna
When's
be.
that gonna be? Like February? Is that like the week after the Super Bowl?
Yes, it
All right.
is.
Look at you, a fountain of NASCAR knowledge.
Oh,
over
yeah,
there,
oh,
buddy.
yeah.
Look,
It is at my parents' house, but I have like a Dale Earnhardt Jr. like car phone.
There you go. Well, that was the newest addition to the class. I showed you guys. I got the Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the White Sox, like the 2003 All-Star Game paid scheme they had.
Is this becoming NASCAR minute with Aldo and Mitch?
I
Just
think
like-
that Sports
I mean,
Mockery
this is
just
just-
opened up its NASCAR division. is I think
Yeah,
what-
Jesus
I like it. There we go.
Christ.
Yeah. Now, although you're one of the higher ups, let's get it. Did they have
All
a
right.
I used to love cheering against Tony Stewart, and that was before he killed
I
the
don't
guy.
like
I was gonna say, is that before or after?
Before he-
I think he killed a guy.
Yeah.
He's like, I was just trying to rattle his cage. The guy was high.
Huge Jimmy Johnson guy back in the day.
Well, as now has become officially not official, we end our show with our official song.
This Padres pitch is shitting bricks right now. Why? Cause Danny fucking Burgess is up and back. Guy just ordered Shake Shack straight to the dugout. This
It's the ending that gets me to Shake Shack straight to the dugout.
Yeah.
Because I just picture his fat ass calling fucking out. Oh God, I need another hobby. Anyways, this shit cracks me up, dude.
I can't wait until the White Sox trade for Daniel Vogelbach.
So the Clevenger deal was like at the cusp of us doing an emergency show, but that doesn't really move the needle to emergency show status. But if something else happens during these winter meetings,
That
me
does.
and the fellas will hop on, even if it's just an audio only. But we will be doing a
Maybe we'll look around and do a space.
yeah, we might have to fight Josh now, but he can't figure out technology. So
We got him, boys.
him versus technology has been one of the greatest battles of 2022. Feel bad for the guy. But yeah, for NASCAR Mitch, the Reverend K Fids, that's Aldo. I'm Zoe, and we will see you guys next week.